Alright, round 2 started. We're on the draw. We've got 2 drop, 3 drop again, so pretty easy keep. A lot of bears, so even if we don't draw a third land, we can add guys to the board every turn. Opponent is playing possibly Sultai. Drew another not land, but just play this. Warshrieker is going to be pretty good at catching us back up if we miss any land drops. So if we start to fall behind on board, we can at least get ourselves back into it. We didn't draw a land, but we drew a Valley Dasher, which I will play and smash some face with. And pass. Not great if he plays something with high toughness here, but what are you going to do? It's part of the reason why I've been liking red with the new set in the format, because Valley Dasher was like the only viable 2-drop in red until we get new stuff like the Efreet and the Humble Defector and whatnot. We did draw land, luckily, but he's just been going land go, so there's probably something suspicious going on, but I'm just gonna attack. Just takes it. Alright. So I'll just play a Horde Chief, I guess. Make a guy. Now he's he's actually dead to Warflare if he does nothing else, so hope to draw land. Opponent is playing black-green, possibly Sultai. Don't know what hand he could have kept that he's been doing nothing this whole time. He just plays a low toughness guy, so yeah, that's why the Whirlwind Adept is not that great. Now we just get to I can attack with everything, including the Warrior, which I think I'm gonna do here. No, I'll just attack with these. He's gonna have to trade for one of them. I think I'd rather make him lose his guy than just get to block the Warrior for free. So now we'll just play the Outcast, make a Spirit. I think the only way we lose this game is if he has like a Death Frenzy or something, which would be very bad, don't get me wrong. Alright, he just scoops him up. So let's see if we have anything in the sideboard that we want to bring in against slow black-green stuff. Maybe a Bring Low, another Rush of Battle. Don't really see anything that I'm interested in, to be honest. Can bring in the Dragon Throne. That seems less than ideal. We'd rather, I mean, it could be good if we get into a board stall situation. Maybe I try it instead of like Trumpet Blast. Give it a shot. I think I've only played with Dragon Throne once in Triple Cons. I don't know if it got any better or worse. Like, it's still not a great card, but it seems pretty good in our deck when we've got lots of small creatures. We can just put it on a 2-drop. That would be otherwise irrelevant on the board, and just make our other guys bigger. So we'll try it. Why not? Alright, we're back, we're on the draw, and this hand has mono 4-drops, which is the kind of thing we're worried about, so I'm going to go ahead and ship it back and keep this one, which has all 2 and 3 drops. Oops. Still need to draw a White Saurus, but even if we don't, we can just play a bunch of 2-drops. Which might not be good enough, but it's what our deck does best, so. Alright, well, if my opponent doesn't have any 2-drops, then well, we drew Dragon Throne, which is kind of embarrassing, but I'll go ahead and add a bear to the board. Alright, our specs is fine. Come on, planes. Oof. That was a fortunate draw. Let's go ahead and smash. Just takes it. Let's Horde Chief it up. My phone is going crazy today. Go ahead and shut that off. See if there's a morph coming. Oh, a banner. It's totally fine. So we have lots of things, we have lots of options if we draw land next turn. We could play 2/2 drops, or we could play one of these 4 drops. Oh, he's playing something else. Kintry Warden, maybe that changes things. We did draw land. So I'll just play that and have to decide if I want to attack with anything. It would be best to get his Warden off the board now, like force him to block with it if possible, because he'll be able to regenerate it from all turns forward. But I can't really attack with the Warrior because then he just gets to eat it with the Haruspecs. We could represent some kind of trick, but I don't think it's really worth it. It's kind of interesting though with Bolster. Let's just tell him I'm thinking. Maybe I do want to have the Warrior just die, because then it makes my Bolster better, because it would give me more options to move my things around than being forced to put the counters on the 1/1. So I think I am going to attack with everything here. At the very least, if he just eats the, if he calls the bluff and just eats the Warrior token, then he still takes 4, unless he wants to chump the Kintry. I think the bluff potential here is pretty high. Alright, he does do that. Okay, that's fine. We lose our Warrior, bluff called. But we get to add a nice flyer to the board here, so. Yeah, this guy has been overperforming so far. Like, he's a pretty unassuming body, but he does have to be answered eventually. Like, he just prevents, or he presents a insurmountable threat if he dies, so they're not pretty incentivized to just let him live for longer than he should. So he can do a pretty good chunk of damage before he bites the dust and bolsters something else. So it costs a whopping 9 mana to play the Dragon Throne and activate it in the same turn, so we're going to have to take a turn off at some point if we're going to use it. Swarm of Bloodflies is fine. Could be annoying if he has a removal spell. Drew a land. What do I want to do? Yeah, maybe Trumpet Blast is just better than Dragon Throne. I'm not sure what I was thinking there. Guess I was thinking Trumpet Blast is much worse when you're on the draw against the black-green deck, but this is kind of a strange board state, so anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and send with the Skyguard. He can trade if he wants to. He'll get to draw a card, but I'll get to put counters on something. So, alright, he does trade. Mostly I just don't want that thing to grow out of proportion. Alright, so he decided not to block. It's reasonable. It's probably the correct play from him. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump my hand of 2 drops. Kind of on the precipice here, where he's very close to stabilizing, so need to draw something pretty soon to kind of overwhelm him before he can start killing things and drawing cards and whatnot. Not sure if Dragon Throne is exactly what we're looking for in that regard. It's playing something. Playing Morph. Okay. It's kind of suspicious. Not sure what morph he could play that he wouldn't want to just play face up here. Alright, so that was a pretty good draw. Because I'm kind of worried about some kind of trick here. So if he has like a... I'm trying to think what removal he could have. I guess Awaken the Bear would not be good for me. So if I attack with the Sky Captain, and he blocks and he has a trick. I mean, if it's exactly Awaken the Bear, then it's bad for me, but I'm trying to think what else it could be. Like maybe a Charm or something. Then he could kill something, this grows to a 3-3, this dies, this goes to a 4-4, but then I get to Heart Piercer it. And it's not like a total blowout, even if it is Awaken the Bear. Because I still get the counters, and then I can just kill his Heart Respect, so that doesn't get out of control. He has something. Reality Shift. Fascinating. Okay, well, that's pretty good for me because it means that his Swarm of Bloodflies doesn't get a counter. So let's see what our morph is, or whatever it's called. Manifest. It's a mountain, but it's fine. It means we don't have to draw a mountain next turn. Now I'm just going to go ahead and Heart Piercer his Swarm of Bloodflies. I'm going to leave him with the Heart Specs, so I'm more concerned about the Swarm going out of control than him drawing one random card. Alright, so he's figuring out what's happening here. Yeah, he was confirming that his Swarm of Bloodflies didn't grow because this is only when a creature dies that it triggers. Reality Shift exiles. So yeah, he gets to draw a card. So yeah, this Dragon Throne would have been way better as a Trumpet Blast this game. So if we happen to go to a game 3 here, then I'll definitely make that switch, especially because we'll be on the play then, so it'll be much more likely to be good. This card was just a little bit cheaper in any of its modes. I don't know. It's just so not worth taking a turn off, as is. He's paying 5 mana for something. Whirlwind Adept, don't really care. Doesn't block any of my guys efficiently. So this turn I actually just get to Alpha Strike, which is nice. He gets to draw some cards, but... Ooh, and we drew a Horde Chief. There's just never a good time to cast this Dragon Throne, is there? So let's think about how combat's going to go here. Kincher Warden would get to block the Defector and just eat it for free. He can block one of my Ifrits. He can block both of my Ifrits, and then he takes 6. He loses 3 guys. He draws 3 cards, but then I'm left with 3, 4, 5 bodies, and I can sort of set up a Dragon Throne board in the following turns. The alternative is just playing the Dragon Throne, waiting a turn, and then equipping it to something. I could also just attack with not the Humble Defector, everything else, so he doesn't get to just eat something. So I only lose 2 guys in combat. That seems better. So let's go ahead and send in with everything but the Humble Defector.